Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath. And Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now this lesson is going to be based on 2 deadly shootings with multiple victims. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, Philadelphia police are working to solve 2 shootings with multiple victims this Memorial Day weekend. A fight at a short-term rental along the 500 block of North 11th Street erupted into gunfire in Spring Garden. Police said 21-year-old male was pronounced dead at Jefferson Hospital after being hit multiple times in the stomach. An 18-year-old woman and 17-year-old female were both shot once in the shoulder. They were taken to the hospital in stable condition. Police recovered 18 shell casings near the scene and believe there were 2 shooters responsible. Police say 2 other males showed up at Temple University Hospital in private vehicles after the shooting on 11th Street, bringing the total number of victims to 5. Those 2 victims are also in stable condition. So we have plenty of cameras here, so we're trying to identify which cameras saw what to see if we can find the individuals who were perpetrators of the shooting, said Captain Sean Butts of the Philadelphia Police Department. Shortly after the shooting in Spring Garden, officers then responded to an abandoned church turned recording studio along the 5100 block of Bible Way in Parkside. They arrived just before 2:30 a.m. and met with a man who described a would-be robbery. The man told police he opened fire. There were 3 gunshot victims, and police said 1 man died on the way to the hospital in a private vehicle. A 2nd man is in critical after being shot in the head, and a 3rd is stable after being shot in the arm. No arrests have been made in either shooting. Yeah, so the violence is already turning up. But the scriptures told us that in the last days, perilous times would come. And here we are. 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. And when you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. And some of the synonyms are dangerous, risky, unsafe, hazardous. And those are the times that we are in. We are in some very dangerous times. The shootings have increased. The stabbings have increased. Violence in general amongst people has increased. You have this hantavirus that's going around. You have these fires, storms, tempests, earthquakes. There's a lot going on. And that's how you know that we're in the last days, because all of these things are happening at the same time. The Lord is really opening the gates of judgment upon the earth. Ecclesiasticus 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. And when you look up the definition of appease, it means to satisfy. So these spirits that are created for vengeance are used to satisfy the wrath of the Lord who made them by executing his judgments upon these wicked people with whom he is angry with, according to Psalm 7:11. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So death itself is a spirit of vengeance. Verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. And the modern day sword is the gun. And that sword is used all the time, every day. There really is not a day that goes by where you don't read about or hear about a shooting happening somewhere. And in the article that I read, some people died from these two separate shootings, but a lot of people got injured, got wounded. And that's just the time and season that we are in. A lot of violence, or a lot more violence, because there's always been violence here in America, but it's just going to increase and get worse. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And, through that sword, through the modern day sword, the gun, the Lord continues to wound and kill a lot of people. And, you have these simple people who are like, oh, we just get rid of the guns, or have higher or stricter laws around owning a gun. And it's like, this is America, the land of the wicked. It doesn't matter what laws they put in place to try to crack down on, guns. People are still going to find a way to get a hold of them, and violence with guns is still going to be a thing. Like, there is no stopping that. 1 Samuel 2:6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And through his spirits that are created for vengeance, the Lord does kill. He kills wicked people every day, all over the world. Wicked men, wicked women, and wicked children. Because the Lord is no respecter of persons. Homeless people die. Celebrities die. It doesn't matter. Nobody is exempt from receiving judgment. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is that nobody has perished being innocent, nor were the righteous ever cut off. So the people who die in these shootings, they're not innocent. It could be a 2-year-old, and that child was not innocent in the eyes of the Lord. And that's what people don't understand. The Lord doesn't bring these type of judgments upon innocent people. He brings these type of judgments upon wicked people who have provoked him unto wrath. It says verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And as I've said before, these judgments are merely wicked people reaping what they've sown, being punished for their wickedness. It's not random. It's not an accident. It's judgment from the Lord. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die. Time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for the, I believe, 2 people that died in the 2 separate shootings that I read about in that article, it was those people's time to die. And that goes for anybody who dies, if they die from a shooting, a stabbing, suicide, animal attack, they die in a fire, they die in a car crash, however they die, it was their time, according to the will of the Lord. And there's nothing that can be done to save these people. There's nothing that can be done to deliver these people out of the hand of the Lord. It doesn't matter how fast the police get there. Doesn't matter how fast the firefighters get there or the EMTs get there, when the Lord decides that someone's time on earth is up, their spirit will be taken. And that's just the end of it. And seeing as we are getting closer and closer to the summer, the amount of shootings and stabbings and all violent altercations in general amongst the people is about to increase, because when it gets hot, people's patience wears a lot thinner than it already is. You're going to hear about a lot more road rage incidents. This summer is going to be very active. But those of us of the hopeful elect, we expect this because we understand that we're in the last days. So everything is going to get cranked up a couple of notches. We just have to stay prayed up and focus on serving the Lord fervently and diligently day in and day out to the best of our ability, in hopes that we have been chosen from the foundation of the world to endure unto the end and be saved. Because there is no saving these wicked people. They're going to die because the Lord has already put a target on them. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are still fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere Akwath. Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathen. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan, Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.